there's a danger that companies will try to use all these props to try to send out a signal what their culture is like.
Right, to deceive almost.
Recruitment is going to benefit a lot from the AI, doing a lot of this non-intuitive stuff, but you're always going to need that human being at the last mile.
Right.
Because even on the other side, on the employer side, right, it's a human being that's going to decide who they hire, not an AI. You hustle, you may not succeed. But if you don't, then you're almost guaranteed to not succeed, right? So it's as simple as that. If you don't want to work hard, how are you expected to grow?
Welcome to another episode of Life Confessions, where we speak to really interesting people. And today we've got yet another one joining us. He is Derek Toh, founder and CEO of Hiredly, which is a recruitment platform. Is that what you would describe Hiredly as, Derek?
Yes, 100%. We are a recruitment platform. We started off being about helping companies use their culture to attract talent. And we resonate particularly well with like the Gen Y. Well, it was Gen Y then, the youth. Now it's obviously Gen Z. So but we have expanded across the range. So we do, like even like older, like more senior roles now.
Okay. When you said something interesting, you use culture to attract talent.
Yeah.
What does that mean when you say you use the company's culture to attract talent?
I actually think that skills-based or salary-based matching has been around for very long. Like an accountant knows what an accountant is doing, as an example, right? But this accountant can only work in one place, only one company. So I think if you really want people to grow in their career, skill-based matching is very limited. Actually, we focus on company-based matching.
Okay.
Right? So like, I just want to make sure that we help you work in the right place. And if you're working in the right place, doesn't matter. You're an accountant. You can account in 1,000 different places. But if you're in the right place, your career is going to grow there. So that's
interesting.
What
So it's not about the work you can do. It's also about the environment that you'd be able to excel in, which is the culture of the company, not just the basic day-to-day work that you'll actually be doing.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I mean, it's a nightmare, right? Imagine you are like a salesperson, marketing person looking for a job. The whole reason why the interview process is so painful is because you only find out if you like the place when you go interview. You know, and then just two in, right? And you spend like half a day traveling, etc. Just to have one, and it's so inefficient, right? So
well, actually, that brings us to what we want to ask, which is when you first started Hiredly, right? Was it truly about creating a better hiring platform, or was it a reaction to your frustrations that you personally experienced navigating corporate life and job seeking in Malaysia? Was it something you yourself felt could have been improved?
I think definitely both. When I came out and start Hiredly, it was very clear that some of the existing platforms had some limitations. I mean, they've been around. I have a lot of respect for them. They're around 20 years or so, but they haven't really changed since then. So I always knew there was a gap in the market. So, okay, we can build something. But what we built, I think this was a part where I think some of my personal experiences played a big role. Yeah. So the reason why I use accountant just now as an example is I was an accountant.
Right.
So I in my early career,
right.
I picked a job that I didn't know what I want to do. So my parents said, why don't you do accounting? So you save, and I picked it. I was actually working in the UK. It was a very established, one of the big audit firms,
Right.
and if you look on paper, I am supposed to be happy. I am supposed to feel very successful. But I didn't though. I completely felt out of place. Again, I had a lot of people, colleagues that I looked at and said, this person could be a partner one day.
Yeah.
No, but I just couldn't see that for myself. So,
right.
So it was one of the reasons why I came back to Malaysia. But when I came back, I not only did I not do accounting, I went into recruitment. I mean, headhunting to be specific. So it's like HR plus sales.
Okay.
And I loved it. I remember the first time I picked up the phone to call a candidate.
Yeah.
And after like a 5-10 minute call, I hung. I was like, I think I really like this. But it wasn't just the job that I liked. It was the environment that I was in at the time. So it was. I still remember it was still a young firm then. Now it's grown quite a little bit. And I loved the people there. I loved the management that I was working with. And because of that, everything clicked, and I grew so fast in that organization. I mean, it was a complete different experience from when I was doing accounting. So when I was deciding, like, okay, the existing job platforms need something new, I think it's culture. So I got lucky.
It was your experience that made you realize that, because your experience in this company
Yes.
made you realize what a difference it made when you appreciated the culture of the company
Yes.
and not just what the work entailed
Yes,
that you
that's
had
what
to do.
When it's not just to work, but because I was in the right place.
Yeah.
So I grew, and so I got lucky. And
Yeah.
for me, it's like, but not everyone gets to be lucky.
Yeah.
So why does it have to be like that? So we should create something where people don't rely on luck. It shouldn't be about luck. There should be a better way to find the right kind of company to work in. So that's how we set out
Right.
when we first started.
You set out to create something that you stumbled into by luck and chance, so
Yes.
that other people don't have to rely on luck and chance. They'll be able to get what they want.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, and then and the way we designed it was very easy. All I needed to do was reflect on when I'm trying to help someone look for a job. What are the typical questions they're going to ask me? Like
Okay.
that was it. So I used back the example of an accountant.
Yeah.
This accountant is not going to ask me what am I going to be doing in this company, because they already roughly know what an accountant is supposed to do.
Yeah.
What they typically ask me is something like, oh, what are my colleagues like? Can you describe the colleagues to me? Can you describe what the leadership style that you met the boss? Is it? What's the boss like?
Right.
And then they say, what kind of what's the company doing? What kind of vision do they? What are they growing? Are they what is the direction they come like?
Yeah.
It's always about like the people and the like we use the term culture, like what's going on inside the company, not so much about the job
Right.
that I will be doing.
Right. Like, what's it like? What are the people like? What are the relationships like? How are people treated in the company?
Yes.
So, many people dream of building something, but not everyone actually makes it happen, or they are too afraid to actually set out on a thought or a plan or an idea. But you actually did that. Where did this push come from that you decided that you would make Hiredly happen?
I think two things. One, obviously, we got quite lucky in the sense where I had this instinct that Malaysians would love a platform like this.
Yeah.
A platform that's focused on culture. It was just an instinct. No market research and stuff like that, right? No analysis. I just launched it. I got lucky. Like there are so many employers. I still remember I have no sales team. I am the sales team. So many employers will write in to say, hey, can I list on your platform? How do I get on the platform? And so many job seekers will write to say, I wish you existed when I was first looking for a job.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a lot of luck. I think the second thing was mostly ignorance. No, seriously.
Blind faith.
I completely underestimated how difficult it is to build a job platform.
How big was the team when you started?
Oh, it was just me.
Okay.
Yeah. It was just
Okay.
me for like 6 to 8 months or something.
Right.
Yeah. And it's really hard. Even until now, I would say it's very, very difficult. That's the only reason why until today, in Malaysia, there are not many job platforms to choose from.
Yeah.
It is very difficult to start. So we are just one of the very few that have grown to this size, but it's so difficult.
And what do you credit for the ability to have sustained until now?
I'm going to say like really boring stuff, right? Like, resilience.
There's truth in that, right? Sometimes the boring stuff is real.
Yeah.
It's the fact, yeah.
And it's always for different reasons. So for example, I tell this is half a joke, right? In Hiredly, every year there's going to be an event that threatens to shut the company down. Every year.
Yikes.
It's like either so I remember the first time we encountered this, the only thing I kept telling myself was, but I just raised all this money from my friends, my family, and I'm not going to disappoint them. So I'm going to figure out how to do it. So it's always like there's something that keeps me going. There's always a reason, right? So right now when we grow to this size, I'll be thinking like, we can't just end this. And what happened to our employees?
You don't let
What happened
them
to their
down.
jobs? We promised them let's do this and that. So I think it's a lot of resilience and whenever faced with a challenge, I think what it helps, I think, is also for the team to have the right team that will rise up to meet that challenge with me.
Was it difficult forming this team?
Yeah, it's messy. Yeah.
Was it a lot of hiring and then letting people go before you had the team that worked out?
Definitely a lot of that. I would say the early years of Hiredly, we had a very strong founding team.
Yeah.
And then as we grew over the years, I mean, even for themselves, some of them felt like, oh, it's time I kind of look out and try something else. So
Yeah.
somewhere halfway along the way, we definitely had a lot of change, I think, internally, right? So during this phase, I guess this was quite a bit of a challenge. I wouldn't say hire and fire, but I would say that there was so much change internally in the company that it was also not easy to find my own footing, because the team is everything, right? Like, I can't do everything alone. But now I would say 2025, when we're recording this, I love the team. We have a very strong team. It's a very different team from the team that we started with.
Yeah.
But the team has the same energy, the same love for what we're doing.
Right. Yeah. It's so interesting to hear you say this, because to see how a company that handles recruitment deals with recruiting their own staff is very, very insightful, right? Because you are actually performing the task that you are helping other people get done.
Yes. Yeah. And we dog food our own product, right? Meaning that we only use our own platform to hire. So almost, I would say, other than some referrals and stuff like that, maybe 80% of the people you see working at Hiredly were hired directly through our own platform.
That is perfect.
Yes.
So you're the living, breathing example of what Hiredly can do, because Hiredly was created through Hiredly.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, the next question I have for you relates to something that's quite contentious. The Gen Zs are joining the workforce, right? They have been a part of the workforce already. And there's a lot of talk about how Gen Zs are more purpose-driven. But also, some people feel they are more entitled and difficult to retain. There's this opinion. From your perspective, and yours would make the most sense because you actually deal with helping them getting hired, right? Are they really changing the job market in a good way, or are we just lowering expectations to accommodate the needs of what we perceive Gen Zs expect?
When Hiredly first started, there were Gen Zs were still in school.
Yeah.
It was the Gen Ys that were the fresh grads, right?
Yeah, the millennials, right?
The millennials. Yeah, millennials, right? And all the Gen X people were complaining about the
my people.
Yes, they were. They were called lazy, not loyal. There's so many articles on millennials. You can go find them. They're still there. And now it's happening to the Gen Z, right? It's the millennials that doing it to the Gen. So I think there's a combination of two things. Number one, when someone is young and new to their career, it's true there are a lot of things they don't really know yet. Maybe they need some time to learn about what the professional working world is like. So you're always going to find stories of people who, maybe like, you're shocking, I can't believe that this person is like that. But they're young, right? And they'll learn, and one day they'll grow. But the second thing is, yes, of course, every generation is slightly different because we all grew up in different times. So, as an example, right? So, Hiredly, we published a work culture report recently where we analyzed Gen X, Millennials, and Gen Z, and the data was very surprising. There's so many things about the Gen Z that people thought were true that were not true. So, I give you a very simple example, right? A lot of people associate the whole remote working thing to Gen Z. And say like Gen Z are the ones that are pushing for remote work. They don't want to come into the office. But what the data showed was actually the Gen X are the ones that appreciate remote working the most.
Right.
I use the word appreciate remote working the most, right? So, but they're not
feet hurt, right?
Their feet hurt. No, I think
our feet hurt.
I think a lot of it is because many of them, maybe their families and so they appreciate the flexibility.
Right.
But they're not loud about it. Right? They're not loud because they come from a world where remote working wasn't the norm.
They tolerate not getting remote work, even though that's what they prefer.
Yes, they actually want it. The Gen Z, however, are very loud about it because when they first entered the workforce, this was during lockdown time.
Right.
Everyone was fully remote.
Right.
So when companies started calling people back into the office, the Gen Z were like, why? Why? Why do I have to go back to the...
because they never had to.
It's always worked without me going to office. Why are you suddenly asking me to come to office? This is like a boomer thing, so...
Yeah, it was working fine. Why do you need to make this change?
Yes. So they were very loud about it. But in reality, flexible working, ranks not at the top of a Gen Z list. So I guess what I'm trying to say is yes, every young new generation will have its own uniqueness, but at the same time, the Gen Z are young now. They're going to grow up.
Yeah. And then when that next generation comes along, they'll call them lazy.
Yeah, the Gen Z will complain about the Gen Alphas. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just a cycle.
When they join the workforce
Yes,
finally, right?
It will be the same.
When you talk about work culture or a company culture being so important now, especially when you find you pair people through Hiredly with not just work but the culture of the company that they're going to work for, right? Do you think companies are actually listening to what job seekers want when it comes to this, or are they simply like offering trendy perks like a pool table and a gym membership, right? But they're not really making real changes in relation to how they treat employees. So all this is just fluff, right? It's furniture, but the way you treat an individual, an actual person, needs to change as well. Do you see that happening?
I agree that culture is just behavior, right? So a lot of when I say culture, some people would think, culture is like the benefits, whether like you said, whether there's a pool table there. Those things are maybe more symptoms of a culture lah. So let me explain what I mean. So if I'm walking into a company, right, and I walk into a company, I see like a pool table there. Right, I'm going for a job interview and I see a pool table in the office.
Yeah.
I am going to imagine that the culture in this company is fun. It's light. Like this, the pool that symbolizes that.
It does, yeah.
Yes. But have you walked into a company where no one dares to play pool, but the table is there? Like, there's many.
Yeah.
Right? They put like an Xbox there or PlayStation there, but no one's playing it.
Yeah.
But you walk in there, it is used as a symbol to say, oh, this place is so cool, it's so fun, right? So I think there's a danger that companies are, both is true lah. What I'm trying to say is there's a danger that companies will try to use all these props to try to send out a signal what their culture is like.
Right. To deceive almost.
I'm not even sure they're even aware.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Unintentional.
Yeah. Because they've seen like some companies that a lot of people give very good ratings on culture. But the visual thing you can see is how the office is designed. So you say, I want to be like this, so I'm going to make it look like this. But actually, at the very core, it's just how the people behave. That is really what the culture is.
And that does happen, meaning are you saying that they do make these aesthetic changes, but actually at the core, sometimes the culture doesn't change in some companies? They make the changes that you can see to make it seem like a more, a better, a company that is more fun to work at, that is more open to ideas and opinions by painting the company a certain way with certain advantages there, but the actual way they treat employees doesn't change.
Well, you can put it this way, right? Let's say you're working in HR. It's easier to buy a pool table than to ask your boss to be open-minded.
Okay. Very clearly said. Said.
So, but what I'm trying to say is, it's all coming with the right intentions.
Right.
Yes, I do want this kind of culture. And maybe sometimes, if you design the environment in a certain way, maybe you do influence the culture to move.
Right.
But end of the day, I think everyone should still should be still super clear what culture actually is. Right? Which is the behavior of the people.
Right. It isn't the furniture, even though that can give you
it sends a good signal.
Yeah.
It is a signal.
Right.
And if you design the office or your props do represent exactly what is happening in the company, then great.
Yeah.
That's perfect, right? Yeah. But if it doesn't, that's a problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
AI is something that crops up in every aspect of our lives now, and obviously it's something that is getting a lot of traction when it comes to jobs, job hiring, recruitment, with AI getting better at filtering CVs even and conducting first round interviews in some cases. Do you ever worry that the human recruiter could become obsolete, and what role will platforms like Hiredly play in the future with AI becoming progressively better?
I think from a recruitment perspective, I've actually done the actual work of, because I was doing headhunting, I've done the actual work of recruiting for companies.
Yeah.
There was once I interviewed someone. I just true story. I interviewed a candidate, and I thought like this candidate's like okay lah, so like got the right skills, but I'm not really sure if it fits this job or this company. But
Right.
I just thought I'd try it. So I asked this potential employer, I found this person, I'm not sure. Do you want to have a look? And they said sure. So they interviewed the person, and then they came and said, oh, I love this. I love this person. Like, thank you for sending the CV. And I thought, what? Like, so it was like, for me, it's like, I know I was not sure, but they loved it. And I think what I'm trying to say is, recruitment happens to be a very human activity. It's very intuitive. Sometimes people even can't explain why they click.
Right.
That you can't be.
That's the very human part of it.
Yeah, I spoke to this person within 30 seconds, 1 minute. I think I like this person. I think we can get along. And a lot of things can't really be described. So I think recruitment is going to benefit a lot from the AI doing a lot of this non-intuitive stuff. But you're always going to need that human being at the last mile.
Right.
Because even on the other side, on the employer side, right?
Yeah.
It's a human being that's going to decide who they hire, not an AI.
Yeah.
Right. If it becomes an AI one day, I mean, we are talking about a completely different world. I can't imagine that is. But the decision maker for hiring in a company is still a human being. End of the day. So I think recruitment is going to be one of the last spaces where AI might disrupt people's jobs, the recruiters' jobs.
It's so comforting to hear that. It's so comforting for me to hear you saying that you still can't imagine a future where robots have taken over the world yet.
No, I can't. Basically, the AI is making all business decisions. It can happen, but you're again like a completely different world.
Right. So Arnold Schwarzenegger is not going to come back from the future yet to come and try to save one of us or kill one of us. Now, I would say that you're seen as someone who, I'm not the only person who would think this, obviously. Many would say that you're a person who's made it, right? But in a world where young people feel immense pressure to succeed quickly, what's something about your own journey that you think they need to hear, especially on the days when they feel that they're not doing well for themselves, right? And they feel like they're falling behind compared to their peers? What would you tell someone who feels that way?
Well, I was in the wrong job for 10 years. So, I was like close to 10 years. And then I found the thing that I liked.
Yeah.
And as a job. And then a few years later, then I started Hirely, and it was also very painful again for another 5 years. So, and thank you for saying that, it's seen as a success, but we are hardly a success by most ways how you measure a successful business. There's still a lot to do, basically. And if you're a young person is listening to this, it takes time. Like, you're going to make so many mistakes. You even if you're in the wrong place right now, you still have time. And I would say you have more time than me. I'm like, I'm always counting the clock. And I look at, if you're in your 20s, your 30s, I'm so envious. You have so much time.
Right.
Go figure it out. Like, as long as you, I think as soon as you accepted that, it's over, I'm running out of time, then it becomes a problem. But just you can just go and do stuff. Like, go do it now.
Yeah, I think it's really good for someone to hear it from you.
Yeah.
So sometimes people feel all this pressure, especially when they might look at someone like you and go that, look, he did it. He's amazing. Why am I not doing that well? And then they need to know that you struggled too.
Oh yeah, I'm still struggling now. I mean, if you're going to look at, let's say, those famous entrepreneurs like Mark Zuckerberg who dropped out of university. I mean, those are very, very exceptional edge cases. But that's not going to be. Why don't you should look at the stories of people who started late. And you're going to find
there are
so
way
many
more of those. There are so many more of those stories.
There's so many of those. So you have time.
Yeah. With your experience, right, what do you think is the most dangerous mindset that young Malaysians have today when it comes to their careers? And do you think there's something that as a society we can do to shift that way of thinking? Is there a way that young people think now that's worrying you when it comes to their careers?
Two things I've observed. So first one is someone once told me that they make more money if they were to, let's say, do like drive, be a Grab driver or be a food delivery driver than getting a job as a fresh graduate, right? And
Yeah.
so there is this temptation to say, why am I doing this fresh graduate job when this other gig work is paying me twice the amount, right? And I have so much freedom there. And I can understand that. So number one, I want to say that if you need the money for whatever reason, all right? I don't, again, I'm not in the right place to say that, maybe you need to pay medical bills for people and then, okay, all great, right? But if you had the option of, earning twice the salary, but doing something like in the gig space, or half the salary, but in a professional kind of job where there's a ladder to climb, and maybe
Upward mobility. Yeah.
So you earn less today, but one day you're going to earn more.
Yeah.
Your income will keep increasing as your skill increases.
Yeah.
You should always pick that job that gives you long-term salary. Always don't think short-term salary, think long-term salary. So I'm trying to encourage a lot of people to think like this.
Right.
Yes, it's very enticing, the short-term salary, but you have 30 years ahead of you. You might be ahead of your friend. Oh, why are you so silly? You're earning half the salary. But your friend who's earning half the salary is going to earn double, triple your salary maybe 5 years from now, 6 years from now. So you should really be thinking long-term salary. I think the second thing is obviously this whole hustle culture thing is I think it was a Gen X or millennial thing, and then I think I can see a lot of Gen Z sort of rejecting this idea. Why? And for me, I understand. I believe one reason is because they saw a lot of people hustle, and then when the economy crashed, people lost jobs. So say why do I work so hard? You see, you work so hard, you also you lost your job, right? So what's the point, right? So and if I work so hard, so hard to get promoted, what's the point? So I just do Gram, right? So anyway, So I think there's everyone is obviously a bit disappointed that the hustle culture doesn't necessarily give you what you want, right? So. But I say this though, I think yes, it's true. But at the same time, if you're not actually going to hustle, and by the way, this is true story. I wrote about this before, and I got attacked online. That's it. Is this like an idea from the 1980s or something?
Okay.
So I can see that it's very disliked, like you old man, why are you asking people to work hard? So I look at it in a very simple way. If you hustle, you may not succeed. Okay, and there's no guarantee you succeed. But if you don't, then you're almost guaranteed to not succeed. Right? So it's as simple as that. If you don't want to work hard, then how? How are you expected to grow? Right? But if you work hard, yes, maybe I understand you may not get what you want, but you'll still be ahead most likely than where you are right now.
Yeah. Because you're doing something to make a change.
You're trying. You're actually trying. And I know it's not so fashionable right now, but at the same time, on the flip side, if it's not so fashionable, I always think of things, and because I run the company, right? Everything is just a market in the sense where it's a competition. So if a lot of people don't believe that they want to work hard, if you work hard, you're one of the few. You're going to stand out. So actually, your odds of you getting a benefit from working hard is even higher.
Yeah, when everyone else doesn't,
they don't want to, right? So I'm the old man here telling people to do this, but many people, I know a lot of people are going to hate this idea that, well, I know lah, you run your company, right? So you want people to work. No, but it's for you. And it's for yourself.
It worries me that you mentioned that this is something that got a lot of backlash when you mentioned it, because is there then this sense of not wanting to go the extra mile for a job because people think there's an easier way? Do you find this prevalent among young people enough for you to worry about it?
I'm not sure if I'm worried about it because I imagine like the world always adjusts itself. So let's say if everyone truly doesn't care about it, and that becomes the dominant culture, I don't think society will collapse, like everything will just be fine, then the companies will just adapt the way they hire, even if most people are not working hard, they're still going to be compared to each other. The one that's working 10% harder might be the one that it's fine.
All right, it'll work itself out somehow.
Yes. I always believe like the market always works itself out. Society always works itself out.
Right. But even when it does work itself out, somebody always comes out doing better on the other end. And that's when your work ethic and your ability to, they use the word hustle, but to want to work harder will play into where you end up on the other side of this settling of whatever work culture looks like or work looks like on the other side, right?
Yes, yes. So when I share stuff, I'm not speaking to everyone. I'm speaking to one person, someone who's listening to this and saying like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to try, right? And if I change one person's life and they work harder and they have a successful career, I feel like, oh, great. I'm very happy. But again, if it doesn't change, I think it will be fine. Somehow society adapts.
Yeah. Beyond being a successful founder, what kind of impact do you want Hiredly to leave on the next generation of Malaysians who are entering the workforce, especially those who don't come from privileged backgrounds, right? What's your hope?
Well, my hope is that we succeed in our goal to help people find the right place to work. And by finding the right place to work, their career actually grows and flourishes. Right, so the more people are in the right place, I think they are happier. Quote unquote. I use the word happy because everyone understands happy in a different way, but fulfilled, lah. Yeah. So
whatever that happy is to.
Yes. If we achieve that, that means you're in the right place, and then Hiredly as a company would have achieved the reason why we existed in the first place.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're on track?
On track, yes. A lot of work ahead, yes. Also, it's like I said at the start, building a job platform is a lot more challenging than I first expected.
Yeah.
I have a lot of battle scars right now. I mean, not just a job platform, like building a company.
Yeah.
I have a lot of battle scars. Right? I have so many lessons that I've learned along the way. But I still have a very strong belief that this is the right direction. Let me put it this way. Whether it's going to take us 1 year to succeed, 2 years to succeed, 5 years, 10, eventually we are going to get there.
Right.
It's just whether sooner or later. So we are just keep going to pushing in this direction until everyone believes it can use us and find that right place to work.
Right. I wish that happens for you as well. Now, you've seen the hiring landscape evolve up close, obviously, because of what you do for a living and what Hiredly does. What's one thing you wish every young Malaysian understood about careers that maybe schools or society still fail to teach us? Like, we don't learn this naturally. You wish people knew this as they were heading out and starting their careers.
First I would say is communication skills. Yeah, we talk about soft skills a lot, but when I see people talk about soft skills, they mostly talk about your ability to interview for a job. They're thinking in those terms, right? No, but communication is so important. I find that the people who excel in a career, they grow very far in a career. Typically, they're competent, they can do their job well, but they may not necessarily be the most competent person.
Right.
They reach a certain standard, and then they're a great communicator.
Right.
This is the person that will be like, say, a C-level person.
Right.
So you have, let's say, I'm just talking, let's say, in the technology department, right? You have a software developer that is very technical, very good, but a poor communicator. Another software developer that was like so lah. They understand software, but they're not best developer, but they were an amazing communicator.
Yeah.
This amazing communicator will be the CTO.
Because they can share their ideas well.
They can pull people together. They can share that. They can cascade information down. They can talk to the business and work with the business about how to, what the business is trying to build in the tech side. So a great communicator connects people, inspires people. They are able to lead people, and you're able to lead people. Then in an organization you tend to rise higher. Right? So I think. Again, I don't want to sidetrack too much. Obviously, there's a danger of someone being a great communicator and actually very incompetent. And
which has happened
in
many instances.
It happens a lot.
I just want to lay the word rug pull here. And anyone who understands what that means, it's happened with many people.
I met so many, but anyway. So
who use this power for evil, who use this great ability to communicate.
No, I guess it's kind of like if you're trying to write in an organization, and then if you suddenly realize one day that it doesn't matter so much how competent I am, as long as I'm a great communicator, then you can go down the wrong path. It's like the dark side.
That's so true. Yeah. But is this skill, this ability to communicate, is it something inherent? Or is it something you can learn?
I think you can learn it. And I think I was a horrible communicator. I don't think I'm a great communicator now.
Really?
No, I'm
You
not.
don't think you're a great communicator?
No.
Okay, I would disagree, but
No, I mean, there's so many people that I follow. I wish I spoke like them, you know. So, but when I started anyway, I was so bad at communication. So it can be learned. I think schools should teach it. Should really teach. So I think schools teach language, and they think they're teaching communication, right? They teach like Bahasa Malaysia, English, Mandarin, whatever, and they think they're teaching communication. So no, I keep telling people, language and communication is not the same, right? So I've met people, for example, who, let's say, maybe their English is not the best lah, their English language is not the best, but they can communicate English so well.
Yeah.
While they're speaking English, even though their language proficiency is not the best, but so communication it's not language. So a lot of schools teach language, they think it's communication, but it's not. So they should. I think the second thing, by the way, is a logical thought process. This is commonly known, right? That education systems, the way it's designed, incentivizes memorizing.
Yeah. Learning things by rote.
Yes. And unfortunately, when you come out and work, it can only get you so far. Yeah. So you need to be able to understand things, and debate ideas. And to do that, you need that logical thought process. And you need to know like 1 + 1 = 2, why? Those like the art of reasoning.
And that combined with the communication that you mentioned,
yes,
it's a
superpower.
Is a superpower.
Yes.
That can be used for evil.
Yeah. Or for to do great good.
It's like that Spider-Man saying, right? With great power comes great responsibility. Okay, we've come to the rapid fire questions part of this, Derek. So whatever comes to mind first is what you tell us. Yeah?
Okay.
Your opinion of this may change later on, but at this moment, this is what you think. Okay.
Sure.
First question. Hustle culture or healthy balance?
Healthy hustle. Can I say that?
Okay, sure. Now, hire someone smarter than you or someone who listens to you?
Smarter,
huh? Okay. What's the most overrated soft skill?
networking.
Oh, overrated. Interesting.
Way overrated.
I have questions about that. Can elaborate just a little bit?
I think a lot of people go to networking events with business cards and expect to somehow get value from it, like my new clients. But I think in order for you, I think it's much better to be great at what you do. And when you're great at what you do, your network comes to you. Because people are also looking for someone that gives value to them, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I've seen situations where people exchange business cards in the event, but nothing really happens.
Right.
And then maybe you have one more coffee after that, but if there's no value to exchange here, nothing happens. So I think networking is not that useful.
Oh, true. All right. Yeah. Worst advice you've ever received?
Not specifically any advice given to me, but the general idea that you should hire great people and sort of empower them to do whatever they want to do.
Oh.
Was that surprising?
Yeah, a little bit.
But I want to qualify why I said this.
I also need a little bit more, because if you're hiring a great person, the idea would be to empower them, you would think, to do whatever they wanted to do. Yeah. But that's not how you feel, okay?
No, in fact, again, this is true, a lot of scar tissue that I've accumulated. How do you know this person is great? Right, that's one. So a lot of people make the mistake because I hired this person, therefore I'm just going to trust you, right? And then by the time you realize that they don't know what they're doing, it's too late.
Right.
So, and B, I don't think, even if they were great at it, I don't think it's just fully empowering and trusting them what to do. You need to partner with them. You actually need to, because there's going to be stuff that they're really amazing at, but I'm pretty sure they could benefit from your input on some things that you're better. Right. And if you can really work with each other very well, then the end result would be very good. So it means sometimes when you hire a great person, they have to be the kind of person that doesn't walk in with a lot of ego.
Right. Nobody should get free reign.
Yes. Yeah. No, so I've had this experience before where I hired a very senior person.
Right.
And I sort of asked questions about their work and they got offended. You know, and then like, why are you so offended? Like, are you, it actually makes me feel like, wait a minute, is there something I need to look further into?
Yeah,
Like,
if the person is that great, shouldn't they be able to just
yes.
answer your question?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do this with every senior person we hire, and the person
Yeah.
who really knows what they're talking about. Sometimes we even so happy
Yeah.
that I'm asking them the question, then they can show off their work. They show, look there, I did this,
Yeah.
right? So this is how I did it. And so, oh wow, that's so cool. You know, so that is like anyway. So that's
That's good advice, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good advice that you've learned. You're giving great advice based on what you learned the hard way.
That's right. So I think the proper advice for that is like, yes, you do hire great people, but just make sure you know they are actually great.
Yeah.
That's one.
And they don't get free reign. They're not little demigods that come in and get to
Yes,
just.
you should partner with them. They should allow you to partner with them.
Right. Okay. Next, for the rapid fire questions, passion or paycheck?
Passion, again,
Yeah.
old-fashioned guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is what you did, actually. That's what you've done.
Yeah, yes,
Early
yes.
stages of this.
But I have to say that I wrote a lot against passion for a very long time.
Okay.
More because I don't think people understands what passion means.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So if I can elaborate, when people think of passion, they think they're happy all the time. That's what you imagine passion to be. I love my job so much. I feel I'm not going to work. No, I feel I'm working all the time. You know, so it's not about loving every moment of it. In fact, I think passion, if I'm not mistaken, comes from a Latin word called passio or something like that,
Okay.
and which actually means to suffer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And then to be very passionate or something actually literally means that this thing that you're doing means so much to you,
Okay.
that you really love it, that you are willing to go through the pain, like the hardship of trying to achieve it, you know, but because you really care about this thing that you want to do, right? So that is passion, like the care to do something.
Right.
It is not really about loving every moment of it.
I guess passion, and that's why passion and love are so similar, because you can experience love, but a part of experiencing love is sometimes that pain that comes along with it. But nonetheless, it is the feeling of love that comes with, a little bit of jealousy sometimes, a little bit of pain sometimes, but the overarching feeling is one that you enjoy. And the same can be said about choosing something that you work for. Because if it's worth the passion, that means you will enjoy even the hard parts of doing the job, because it's not going to be perfect and easy, but you have to do the difficult parts of a job as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's great to use the analogy of love, right? I had conversations with this. I mean, this is more personal stuff, right? Like, people would say that, oh, you know what, for example, like, why, like, they ask you, oh, why do you know that your wife is the one, or something like that, right? And then I would say, I would half jokingly say, when we first got together, we fought all the time, but I mean, I'm not asking people to fight all the time, but what I'm trying to say is there was so much emotion in that,
passion.
in that interaction, and we recovered from it, and that is so much better than indifference. So, but it's true. So I met people who feel that, oh, you know what, like, oh, I want to leave my partner and stuff like that, because there's nothing there. We don't even fight about. There's nothing. There is no emotion between the two of us. No good or bad emotion. I mean,
it's nothing.
Yes.
Nothing.
So I think so what and passion in the context of a job is the same. It means like there's something you care about so much. There's the good and there's the bad.
Right. Yeah.
There's the up
Absolutely.
and there's the down. Yeah.
Love it. Next rapid fire question. What's a job interview pet peeve that you secretly hate, but you kind of see happen all the time that you wish didn't happen? Whether it's from the interviewer side or the interviewee side, but something that you see frequently happen that you don't like.
I met a lot of candidates who don't research the company that they're interviewing for, which is a bit surprising to me sometimes. As an example, if I interview someone, I ask a very basic example, why do you want to join Hiredly? And then suddenly you go into this like roundabout thing. And I just wait, you do know what we do here, right? And then they may not know. And so this to me is a disappointment. So they come in to say that, oh, I can do this, I can do it. But again, Hiredly is about helping people find the right place, right? So let's say I'm hiring a salesperson. You can tell me you're great in sales. So good. I can see you're very good at sales. But how do I know you are the right salesperson for Hiredly?
Yeah.
Our specific company. I mean, we're matching people to companies.
Yeah.
So, and if you cannot if you don't even know what Hiredly is doing, then
That's when you turn the potential employee into your potential client.
Oh.
Maybe you need to hire.
Maybe liars, right? Yeah.
Right. Finally, oh no, there's two more. Okay. When should someone not accept a job offer even if it pays well? In which situation? Should they not accept a job offer even if it pays well?
If you can tell you're not going to fit in,
Oh,
like the culture, if you can tell that you're not going to like the culture,
Right.
you should not take this job. And I can tell you why, it's going to be horrible.
yeah.
Every day it's going to feel like a pain. And you might think, oh, I'm willing to endure the pain,
Yeah.
but you might endure the pain and let's say you don't get confirmed or you
Right.
get, or you never get promoted. So is that worth the pain? So
It's not worth it. Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Right.
Yeah.
What's more important in a first interview? Confidence or clarity?
Confidence or clarity? First interview, clarity for sure. Yes. Yes.
All right. And now we've come to the final question. If you had the opportunity to make one change as Prime Minister of Malaysia for a day, what would it be and why?
Right. If you're the Malaysian government listening to this, I want to say I pay a lot of attention to AI. We are very close to the technology, very, very close. I truly, truly believe work and jobs are going to change. It's going to change. It's going to come very fast. It's going to come suddenly. We have a lot of data that we can see this happening, and whenever there's well, I'm not sure the word is crisis. No, whenever there are events like this, right, where people like whether it's an economic crisis or stuff like that, when people lose their jobs, there's always an entrepreneurship boom, always.
Right.
Because people need to put food on the table, right? They need to try to find a way to make money.
Right.
A lot of people are going to start companies, right? So I'm not talking about starting AI companies,
Right.
but they're going to start new companies because they need to feed their families, right?
Right.
So it's going to be entrepreneurship boom. As a government, you should anticipate that. I would anticipate that, and I will start building the infrastructure, the support system to encourage a lot of entrepreneurs to help them.
Right.
Help them because right at the beginning it's
They're
going to be
gonna
very
need
hard. Yeah, they're going to need a lot. It's not like a job. If I'm again, I'm not trying to be. I will never be lah. But I would say build the support system for the entrepreneurship boom that is likely going to happen very soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a little alarming. A little bit.
No, it's good. It's good. Like, and they'll come and maybe they'll love it. I'm so glad I'm doing this now.
And maybe some of them will come through Hiredly, to find positions in those upcoming entrepreneurial startups.
We have so many plans to support them, by the way. So yeah, we're already making the steps. We are a small company.
Yeah.
But as a small company, we are doing what we can in anticipation of this thing that will happen.
Wow, it has been a really, really interesting conversation with you. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on life, work, and AI, Derek. We appreciate you for joining us.
No, thank you, Terry. Thanks for having me.
And we will see you in the next episode of Life Confessions, where another amazing person whose brain we can pick will join us here on the show, on the podcast.